Thank you for tuning in to this video. We're going to go over another passage in the Gospel of Thomas. In this particular video, we're going to deal with the passage where the disciples actually came to the Master Nazarene and they had a question for him. And the primary question is, when will the end be? Keep watching. Okay, so thank you for tuning in. So what we're going to do, of course, I'm going to read two translations, of course, of the Gospel of Thomas. The first translation I'm going to read is going to be coming from the Gnostic Scriptures. It's going to be the Bentley Layton's version. I'm going to leave links to both versions underneath the like button in the description area for you. All right, so let's get started. All right, so this is going to be saying number 18, okay? And it says, the disciples said to the Master Nazarene, "Tell us how our end will come to pass." And the Master Nazarene said, "Then have you laid bare the beginning, so that you are seeking the end? For the end will be where the beginning is. Blessed is the person who stands at rest in the beginning. And that person will be acquainted with the end and will not taste death." Okay? And will not taste death. All right? So before we get into this, let's go ahead and read the other version. And the other version is going to be coming from the Nag Hammadi Scriptures. And of course, I will be leaving this in the underneath the like button underneath the in the description area for you here. So let me find the spot. I saved it here. So let's find the spot here. So it's going to be saying number 18 as well. So it says in this version, the disciples said to the Master Nazarene, "Tell us how our end will be." And the Master Nazarene said, "Have you discovered the beginning then, so that you are seeking the end? For where the beginning is, the end will be. Blessed is one who stands at the beginning, that one will know the end and will not taste death." Okay, and will not taste death. So in this saying, it's giving us. I'm just going to sit these down here. It's giving us some information here that's saying, you know, in order to know the end, you know, you have to know the beginning. All right. So let's go into the book that we have been taught to call the Bible, and let's look at Genesis. Let's look at Genesis chapter 1 here. It says, "In the beginning," it says, "God created the heaven and the earth. And the earth was without form and void. And darkness was upon the face of the deep. And the Spirit of the God moved upon the face of the waters. And God said, Let there be light. And there was light. And God saw the light, that it was good." Okay. "And God divided the light from the darkness." There was a division of light and darkness. Some people might translate that as good and evil. Okay. All right. So now we have some information about the beginning. So in the Gospel of Thomas, it's saying that, you know, basically, blessed are those who make their stand in the beginning. So according to the text here in the Genesis, it says, in the beginning, there was darkness. Okay, in the beginning, there was darkness. So then we go back to the Gospel according to Thomas. It says, blessed are they that make their what? Stand in the beginning. For they will know the end and they will not taste death. So in the Genesis, something happened very unique. Is saying that in the beginning there was darkness. So in order for there to be a new creation, in order for there to be something new, typically you can understand the signs of that coming when there is darkness upon the face of the earth. And when you look out here today, all you see is darkness. You see the promotion of unclean food. You see, you look at the billboards, of course, they're promoting the shrimp, they're promoting the crab, they're promoting the lobster, they're promoting the swine, they're promoting all levels of uncleanliness. They're promoting pedophilia. They even have modern day shrines set up today where they're promulgating lust at the highest level, lust of the flesh. Now, the civilization of deception that I'm talking about are these particular sons of perdition, the synagogue of Satan, if that helps you understand a little bit better. So the synagogue of Satan, of course, has set up and have monetized darkness. Okay, remember it says in the beginning, darkness was upon the face of the earth, and then later, of course, there was a division of separating what? The light, the higher self from the lower self, which is what? The darkness. Okay, and the synagogue of Satan are working to keep you in darkness. You see what I'm saying? They don't want you to have the light. So now, when you look out and all you see is darkness, you go out. You know, you're looking under this state. You're looking under this city. You're looking under this particular country, and you're just trying to find something that has the image of light, and you can't find it. So that's where we're coming back to the Genesis here. So then when you look at the saying, number 18 here in the Gospel of Thomas, when it says, tell us when will the end be? And it says, are you, sir, now you know the end, now you're certain. So the end will be when you know when the beginning is. So if you know the beginning is darkness, there will the end be, and you have to make your stand. You have to be that one that is willing to make your stand in the presence of darkness. Okay. And that's what that's saying. That is the interpretation there of that saying. Let me read it one more time for you, just in case you might have missed it here. Let's get that again. Saying number 18 in the Gospel according to Thomas here, the Gospel of Thomas. And it says, the disciple said to the Master of Nazarene, he says, tell us how will our end will come to pass. And the Master said to them, then have you laid bare the beginning so that you are seeking the end? For the end will be where the beginning is. The end will be where the what? Darkness is. When there's darkness upon the face of the deep, then you are out and you're looking, and the Spirit, the Ruach HaKodesh, has to move upon the waters, okay? There has to be something that is able to rise from within you, okay, and move upon the waters, and then there has to be light. Let there be light. And you have to divide the light from the darkness, and you have to call the light day, and the darkness you have to call night. Or you can call the light what? Good, and you can call the darkness what? Evil. Okay, evil. So the synagogue of Satan, all right, that exists today, and we're gonna in later videos, I'm gonna identify them very plainly for you if you haven't already figured it out for yourself. Here, a hint would be look behind the pornography industries. Look behind the music industries. Look behind the universities. These so-called indoctrination camps. These indoctrination groups. Look behind. Understand what real estate means. Look behind who is controlling commodities and these resources that so-called humanity is living off of. Do you get what I'm saying? And you have to open your consciousness level to not thinking that everything that's walking around with an arms, leg, arms, and a head is all sharing the same characteristics traits, okay? Because that's not what's taking place today. You have other sources, other beings that have come from other star systems that are perpetrating the fraud today of being that, and they're not. Do you hear what I'm saying? So you want to make sure you don't have that mark of the beast, if you get what I'm saying, all right? And true adultery is when two unlike beings mate with one another. So you want to just make sure that you're not doing that either. So let's read this one more time. It says, the disciple said to the Master Nazarene, tell us, how will our end come to pass, right? And the Master said, then have you laid bare the beginning so that you are seeking the end? For the end will be where the beginning is. Blessed is the person Blessed is the one who stands at rest, what? In the beginning. So in the midst of all of the darkness, in the midst of all of the chaos, okay, because that's what that is chaos. You get what I'm saying? You want to seek the higher regions of righteousness, not the higher regions of chaos. You see, now out here, of course, there are those who are sharing information and so forth, but you want to be very careful of the information that you are receiving, because they are promulgating higher regions of chaos. So they say, oh, you made it, you're in, get this and get that, more material this and more material that, and all this other kind of stuff. And all that stuff is part of the illusion. Okay. So your goal is, and your agenda should be to seek the higher regions of righteousness, not the higher regions of chaos, where you're just getting purgatory. If you get what I'm saying, you're just moving up the ladder, but you are just only focused on the desires of the animal. If you get what I'm saying, because there are teachings, if you don't look at it properly, like teachers in the Kabbalah, where you're seeking these higher realities, but in actuality, all you're doing is seeking higher regions of chaos. You're not actually interested in the regions of righteousness, the higher aeons, so to speak. All right. So here it says, blessed is that person who makes his stand or rest in the beginning, and that person will be acquainted with the end and will not taste death. Okay, so I'm going to start doing these series. I've already done one. I'll link it in the description area. I think it was saying 7, if I'm not mistaken, and it was the one about the lion, how you want to be the one to consume the lion and not allow the lion to consume you. So in my videos, I'm going to link all this stuff together, where it's kind of going to be on a path of attainment, to where it's going to be a straight path, and it's going to be guided. Those that are guided can find the straight path, but those that are lost, they go astray, if you get what I'm saying. So I want to make sure that all of these videos sync together. And the main message that I want to convey in this sequence of videos is, we have to identify who the sons of perdition are. We have to realize that you are dealing with something much more than just crayon box colors, black, white, green, polka dot, all that kind of stuff. You're dealing with something much greater than that. So once you're able to move past the colors, the crayon box syndrome, then you can start opening yourself up to higher consciousness and higher levels of reality, to realize that you're dealing with something that is far more advanced than what your emotional refreshment teachers are telling you today. Okay, so like I said, I'm going to leave that saying in the description area. These videos are going to primarily deal with identifying who the synagogue of Satan is. Now, in the book that we've been taught to call the Bible, it does hint on it a little bit in, I think it's Revelations chapter, let's see here, where is it? I think it's Revelations chapter 2, verse, let's see here. Verse 9 here. It says, I know thy works and tribulation and poverty. And then in parentheses it says, but thou art rich. And it says, and I know the blasphemy of them which say they are Jews and are not, but are the what? Synagogue of Satan. So when you look behind these major outlets today, you'll notice that there are certain groups who sit in the seats of those positions that are promulgating the filth and the unrighteousness, if you get what I'm saying. So the synagogue of Satan are a group of those that exist, a foolish nation, and you'll notice that they're the ones that are pushing all of the unrighteousness, the unclean foods, the unclean stuff that because you eat in different types of ways, with your eyes and your ears and so forth. So we want to identify them today. So when we're talking about the synagogue of Satan, we're talking about that which keeps you in your lower self, that which encourages you to operate in a very lower version of yourself, which is darkness. Okay. And now when we look out, we see that the majority of that which we see is darkness or chaos. Now we have to make our stand, in the beginning, because the beginning happens when there is that type of darkness, and then light comes, and then you will know the end, and you will not taste death. Because if you have it within you, then you'll be fine. But that which you don't have will kill you if you don't have it within you. And we're talking about the light. All right. So if you like this video, consider subscribing and hitting the like button. It'll help get this kind of content out. And one thing that I also want to start doing in these videos, because if we're going to be talking about the synagogue of Satan, then we need to start encouraging activities that will push us in a direction of obtaining light, because you have to tame the animal first. And there's some instructions in here that allows for us to do that. So let's turn, let me go ahead and flip here to a certain book that's in here, because it reads something very interesting. Let's see where it's located here. It reads something very interesting. It's the book of Ecclesiastes. Okay, the book of Ecclesiastes is what I want to read here. Just have some patience with me. And I apologize. I'm trying to let my beard kind of grow up a little bit more, because I've been visiting certain barbers, and they've been like bringing it back down. I don't know why, but I apologize that it looks a little like this right now. But I'm just trying to get it to get back to its original state here. But what I'm doing now is I'm turning to Ecclesiastes, and I'm going to look at chapter 12, and I'm going to read line 13. This is what it says. It says, "Let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter." Okay, and the conclusion of the matter, the title of this video was given the interpretation of saying number 18 in the Gospel of Thomas, where the disciples were coming to the Master Nazarene, and they were asking, "Tell us, when will our end come?" And he said, "Look, if you know the beginning, you'll know the end." And it says, "Blessed are they that make their stand in the beginning, for you will know the end, and you will not taste death." So I brought that information out. We went to Genesis. We looked at chapter 1. We saw what happens in the beginning. So for there to be a beginning, there has to be an end, and the end is darkness. Okay? So it says, "Let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter." It says, "Fear God, fear leaving the high places," right? "And keep his commandments that will keep you there. For this is the whole duty of man." Okay, so now let's read one of those commandments that will keep us in the higher versions, that will keep us obtaining toward the light and keep us away from the darkness. So let's read one of those commandments here. And like I said, I'm just flipping through them here. So let's read one of them. So let's just turn to Leviticus. Let me look at Leviticus chapter 11. Leviticus chapter 11 deals with the dietary. It deals with what we're eating and everything. So let's look at let's start at line 1. It says, and the Lord spake unto Moses and to Aharon, saying unto them, speak unto the children of who? To the children of Israel. Not speak unto a land called Israel, but it's a specific seeds that we're talking about here, saying, these are the beasts which ye shall eat among all the beasts that are on the earth. It says, whatsoever part the hoof, all right, and is cloven-footed, and cheweth the cud among the beasts, that shall ye eat. Okay, so it has to part the hoof, it has to be cloven-footed, and it has to have the ability to chew the cud. So chewing the cud is when you're just eating like grass, that type of thing. You're not eating animals that eat other animals or eat other meat. You're basically, it has to meet those 3 qualifications in order for you to eat it, if it's like an animal that walks upon the earth. Okay, so that's that qualification. We can move down to also find out when it comes to that which swims in the waters, and that's going to be line number 9. It says, these shall ye eat of all that are in the waters. It says, whatsoever hath what? Fins and scales. Fins and scales in the waters, in the seas, and in the rivers, them shall ye eat. So like, for example, catfish. it has what? It has fins, but it doesn't have scales. So it is what? It is unclean unto you. It is unclean unto you. It is not clean. So our goal, of course, as being the brotherhood of light, is to help you discern from the clean and the unclean, because we have those that are sitting in seats of authority today that are not trying to discern from the unclean and the clean, because they are unclean. Because they are unclean, okay? And it was not given to them to follow those instructions, so they can teach that nonsense. But if you know what is clean and what is unclean, then you know who to listen to and who to not listen to, okay? Does that make sense for you? All right, so I'm going to start at the end of every video moving forward, sharing one of these commandments or sharing one of these lifestyle principles to help you obtain the light and remain in the light, okay? I'll see you in the next video.